I never thought I'd say this, but listen to this Indian man's advice.
So this video is a message for all my South Asian brothers and sisters who are always complaining about Canadian people being racist. I am friends with a lot of Canadians. They're good, kind-hearted people. The racism that you are complaining about is mostly done because of behavior that people have when coming to Canada and acting like this is your own country, bringing your culture into theirs, not assimilating. Who likes hearing Bollywood music every time you step out of the fucking house? I'm South Asian, but there's a fucking limit. What the hell are you guys even doing? When coming to a new place, you usually adapt with the people who have been living here for the past however many years. And yes, some of the hate towards Indians is out of pocket. It gets too much at times. But the thing is, whenever I open up Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, if you even react with one of these reels with Indian people doing out of pocket stuff, there's like the algorithm feeds you a bunch of these same types of videos, but when I actually look at them and see what the fuck is happening, it pisses me off too. And if it pisses me off, just imagine how much it pisses Canadian people off that you're shitting in a lake in Canada, or there was one video I saw with a person shitting at Tim Hortons while sitting in the seat. So what I'm trying to say is that people don't necessarily hate you, they just do not have good preconceived notions about you. Canadian people are good people, but if you go into someone's house or their home and you start shitting in the streets, you start playing your fucking music, it's not a good thing to do. So yeah, be better.
This dude is totally correct, and it's nice to see someone of the same ethnicity calling out his own people. It's actually quite sad when you think about it, because there are Canadian-born residents of Indian descent who face unfair discrimination. And this guy is not justifying their behavior, he's pointing out the idiocy of it. When people fail to assimilate into a new culture, it deteriorates the meaning of their country, and when things begin to change or worsen around citizens, they become resentful of those who may have caused stress on their nation. Liberal policies have created this mess, not immigrants. Leftists in Canada believe that everyone should be welcomed into our country with open arms. Not only that, but everyone should be supported by those they deem privileged. It's the liberal way.
So this year, I'm thinking about going as the Canadian government for Halloween. And so when kids knock at my door, I'm just going to take half their candy, and then I'm going to actually just give it to everyone else who is too lazy to go trick-or-treating.
Careful now, Mark Carney might be taking notes, but it's true. Liberals believe that everyone else should give up their belongings and earnings and then have it redistributed to the public evenly, no matter who it is. It could be your local pedo who gets some money, a career criminal, or your local drunk who likes to pick up cans to feed his addiction. And of course, who it's really for. Broke liberals who spent all their time delving into identity politics in college and university that now have nothing to show for it because there aren't many careers out there in gender studies. So yeah, these keyboard warriors and social activists want a piece of the pie too, especially if it comes from the pocket of a conservative. Remember when the WEF said you'll own nothing and be happy? Well, take this letter to a homeowner in Richmond, BC as a stark warning. Notice to registered owner. Please take note that the recent BC Supreme Court decision of Cowichan, I don't know, whatever. Tribes vs. Canada 2025 BCSC 1490 made some very important decisions which could negatively affect the title of your property. A briefing paper prepared by City of Richmond staff is attached for your reference. If you look at the draft map attached to the briefing, your property is located within the claim area outlined in green. For those whose property is in the area outlined in black, the court has declared Aboriginal title to your property, which may compromise the status and validity of your ownership. This was mandated without any prior notice to the landowners. The entire area outlined in green is claimed on appeal by the Cowichan First Nations. Given the serious implications of this court decision and the pending appeal, the city is hosting an information session to be held on Tuesday, October 28th, 2025 at 7 p.m. at Richmond City Hall. We hope that you can attend to learn more about this important situation. Could you imagine? What would you do if you got that letter in the mail? I'd be panicking so much right now, and I'd be full of so much rage. And the problem is that you can't even go in and protest against this, because if you say anything in disagreement that this land ownership shouldn't belong to Aboriginals, then you're going to come off as racist. It's just a losing battle. So now the current owner of this land is on unceded territory, and therefore he's going to have to give it up to the natives. What happens when the government decides that a different tragedy happened on your land and it must be given over to the Liberal Party of Carney the Cuckoo Commie? Oh, don't worry, your little conspiracy riddle mind, that would never happen in Canada. Let's end on a high note. Jamil Jivani has been on his university tour to speak with young people about the importance of conservative values, very much the same as what Charlie Kirk was doing. He was challenged on a question regarding DEI, and he gave a masterclass answer that you just need to see.
I find it outrageous, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm just being real.
So, evidently you guys stand for a lot of things. There's the criminal justice stuff, there's the freedom of speech stuff, which is all great. But I think the core of the Conservative Party is the economic policies. So, I've got two questions for you guys. First, looking at your platforms, a common theme is reducing the role of government and increasing the role of for-profit organizations. Profit can only be increased relative to revenue by either paying workers less or charging customers more. As workers and customers, why should we vote for people giving more money and power to for-profit organizations, the same billionaires and mega corporations price gouging our rent and groceries? It's common sense not to trust the federal government, but why not instead subsidize not-for-profits or municipal-level government programs? Second question, less important than the first question. Another common theme in your platforms is the culture war, fighting against woke and DEI. The rising cost of living shows that the real divide in Canada is between people charging prices and the people paying prices. In the light of these serious economic problems, why are you keeping people divided for gender identity and skin color?
Well, I'm going to answer your second question first, because I find it outrageous, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm just being real. The people promoting DEI are the ones dividing us based on skin color. And the people who want opportunity distributed fairly and public services distributed fairly, regardless of what you look like or where you come from, those are the people seeking to bring us together. I would ask you very humbly, since you seem to have a problem with big corporations, why do you think Rogers and Bell advertise their DEI policies while charging Canadian consumers some of the highest cell phone bills in the entire world? Why do the big banks, who seem to do just fine in our economy despite the youth unemployment rate continuing to rise, promote DEI policies? Do you believe it's because they have a genuine interest in making things fair or easier for the average Canadian consumer? Or is it because it's a way to virtue signal and make it look like they care about the average person when they're really actually putting forward policies and a way of doing business that makes life harder and harder for the average person? So I would say with great confidence, that in pushing back against DEI, we are actually increasing the likelihood that all people are treated fairly, that people can come together, and that we might hold those powerful corporations you're concerned about accountable for what they're actually putting people through, which is a cost of living crisis. And we have been the party to push back against oligopolies more than anyone else in Ottawa, whether it's through groceries, banking, telecommunications. We believe the average Canadian consumer deserves more choice and that we will benefit from more competition. And that's what you get when you emphasize the role of the private sector in our economy. It's not about giving money away to big business. It's about saying no one small collection of businesses deserve to control the industries that we all depend on in order to function and survive in this society. So that's the answer to your second question. Do you want to ask a follow-up? Because I went kind of hard on you there. I'm happy to,
And thank you for the
presentation. Yeah, appreciate it.
I can respond to the second question if that was the intention. If not, that's okay.
No, if I didn't answer any part of your questions, you're welcome to clarify.
No. The second question was good. I think we definitely agree on not liking monopolies and oligarchies, although I think historically, looking at the policies of the Conservative Party, it usually seems to benefit the big businesses already in power more than the small businesses trying to start up. And there's still the issue of relying on for-profit organizations in the first place.
Well, there's certainly some services that I'm a believer that the public sector should provide. I mean, we are in a country that prides itself on someone never having to go broke because they're sick. And I think that's something we should always stand by and fight for. I really believe that. I'm a cancer survivor. I would probably be 6 figures in debt right now if I was in another country. But because I was in this country, diagnosed at 30 years old, I was able to be taken care of and I didn't have to worry about my mother and my sisters, right? So I believe in that. But at the same time, I believe that monopoly is always going to be a problem if you don't have balances of power. And when the federal government continues to grow, as the private sector shrinks, as more and more people become dependent on the government in order to earn a living, we are giving an increasing amount of power in the hands of bureaucrats who sit around in Ottawa. And as someone who has to drive to Ottawa every week, I can tell you, the bureaucrats in Ottawa don't understand your life. They don't know what you're going through, and they shouldn't have more power than is absolutely necessary to determine what our country is like and the opportunities that are available to you.
Protect this man at all costs. He has the ability to spark a massive wave of conservatism to young people across Canada. People in our schools are constantly fed leftist propaganda from a very young age. They're not always taught how to think. They're often taught what to think. It's completely unfair, and they deserve to at least hear both sides before making a decision on what they believe. If you enjoyed my commentary, consider hitting that like button down below to boost my engagement. Comment your thoughts below. Let me know what your favorite clip was and why.